Good morning. Continuing in Clearwater Beach this morning, I thought I'd talk for a moment about continuing on the estimating process for determining how to build a metric engine. So the question here in part of this is we have three things that we're estimating. We're estimating the number of records, we're estimating the reference data, and we're estimating the reports, the kinds of reports, and the data the reports need. What are we trying to get to on these things? Well, one thing, we're not trying to determine exactly how to produce the reports, but we do need to understand the data structures involved. We could take all of the reference data and stick it on each one of the transactions, make them a mile long, but the problem becomes if we do that, we start to fill up the whiteboard, the memory. Remember on our computer analogy, we only have limited amounts of memory. And so we want to do some level of data normalization in order to use that memory effectively and have a lot of data available for us to produce our reports. So the need for this reference data estimation is partly because we want to normalize the data in order to efficiently use the memory we have available to us. Now, when we think about how computers run, there's going to be a number of things that are going to affect how our reports are produced. One's going to be the amount of data. So the amount of data, it impacts when it has to get into memory, how long that takes, how much memory it takes. So the amount of data, both in the reference data and in the transactional data, is important. That's not the only thing, though. The number of records is also important. Our reports do things by records. They have to select records. They have to sort records. Those kinds of things. Now, the join processing is also another key metric. From the records, they have to do joins to go find other reference data and other kinds of attributes because we've normalized our data. So join processes, the number of joins is important. The number of reports is important. The number of records extracted per report, the number of joins done per report, all of those kinds of things. The reports give us a view into how that data has to be structured and how it has to be used. What we're trying to determine here is we're trying to get to the kinds of estimates we're going to need in order to size the kind of computer that we're going to need, or determine how fast that computer we have will be able to produce those reports. And again, we're doing everything from the transactional detail. We don't want anything that's a posted balance. Start from the transactional detail and see how we could do it from the transaction detail, what's required before we go on to the next step. Those are our stages in the estimation process at this point.